guys, I welcome you back to my channel, and in this video today I'm going to be showing you how to draft a perfect trouser pattern, and I'm going to be unlocking the secret of getting an accurate crotch line. So if you are having issues getting your crotch line accurately, this video is for you. So let's get started. To draft your trouser pattern accurately, you're going to need the following measurements. So you will need 5 horizontal measurements. You're going to need your waist line measurement, your hip circumference measurement, the thigh measurement. This time around you are measuring one leg for the thigh, for the knee, and for the cuff. The cuff is the same thing as the ankle. And for the vertical measurement, you will need to take your out seam measurement. Is the same thing as your trouser length. That is from your waistline. You can see from here down to the cuff. And also you will need to take your inseam measurements. That is from this point. You can see this point, from this point down to the cuff. So when you are taking your measurements like this, you will need to measure your waist, which is the smallest part of your body, then your hip line, and that is usually between 8 to 9 inches below your waistline, and it is the widest part of your body. And for the thigh, you can see you measure the thigh, and the thigh is usually around 3 inches below the crotch line. You will measure your knee line and then the ankle line. And for the vertical measurement, the outseam, that is your trouser length from your waist down to the ankle, and the inseam from this point down to the ankle as well. So let's get started. So this is the measurement we'll be working on, and this is exactly what I measure here. So to get the crotch line now, all you need to do is to minus your inseam from the outseam. So the inseam and the outseam. So you will need to minus the inseam from the outseam. So for this measurement I have here, the inseam is 28 inches and the outseam is 39 inches. So if I take away 28 from 39, I will have 11 inches. And that 11 inches is going to be my crotch line from the waist to this point. So as easy as that. So let's get started. So the first thing you will measure, if you are working on the fabric or on the pattern paper like this, you know the starting point, and the starting point is going to be the waistline like this. So this will be your starting point. So I'm just going to mark here as the starting point, and then I will draw an horizontal line that is the waistline. So once you've done that, the next thing you want to do now is to take your trouser length measurement, the outseam. So, and I will be measuring 39 inches, and that is my trouser length. So from the waistline, I will mark 39 inches down. Or the trouser length. So this end point now will be our cuff or the ankle. So you can see we have the waistline in place, the outseam, then we want to draw the cuff. So just draw the horizontal line, and that will be the cuff. So once you've done that, the next thing, now that we know what our crotch line is, that you need to take away the inseam from the outseam. So that will give us the crotch line, and I have 11 inches here. So I will first of all mark the hip line, which is 8 inches. So yours can be 9 inches depending on how tall you are or your measurements. So I'll be marking 8 inches, and that will be the hip line. Then I'm just going to draw an horizontal line again. And then now I want to draw the crotch line, which is 11 inches. So I hope you understand how we got there. So I'm just marking 11 inches. again you need to draw that horizontal line. And another line that we need to draw is the tie. Yes, it's very important. That will give your trouser a nice shape from here. You can see it, it's not straight down. So you need to draw your tie, and the tie is usually 3 inches below your crotch line. So you mark that 3 inches, and that will be your tie. So I will label all this line now. This is, and then this is the tie. So now we want to, what we have left is the nail line. So to get your nail line, and you remember this is our inseam measurement, is from the crotch line to the ankle. This one, this inseam measurement, so it's from the crotch line to the ankle. So you will now divide that from the crotch line to the ankle. You divide it by 2. Whatever you have here, you have there, you find the midpoint. And once you know the midpoint, in my own case it is 14 inches, then you go up by 2 inches, just like that, and that will be the nail line. So I'll just mark that again here. Then draw that line and label it, and that is the nail line. So now that we have all the measurement, all our horizontal line and the vertical line in place, the next thing we want to do is to start inputting all the measurements. So the first thing you will need to do is to work out the hip measurements. You work on the hip measurements, and whatever your hip is, I have hip of 40 inches here. You will need to add 2 inches to it, and that would be for his. So adding 2 inches to this hip of 40, I have 42 inches. So that 42 inches now, you will divide it by 4, and then I will have 10.5 inches. So I'm just going to mark 10.5 inches on this line, on the hip line. So you mark it on the hip line. This line, and once you've done that, square a line up like that. So you have your hip measurement in place. Then we move on to the waistline, and to the waistline, you will divide your waistline by 4 before adding any allowance or measure or any inches to it. First of all, divide your waistline by 4. So dividing my waistline of 32 by 4, I have 8 inches, and then that 8 inches, you will now add 1 inch for that to it, and then I have 9 inches. So from this point, you will mark 9 inches like that, so you can see it. And once you've done that, connect that point to the hip line. So I'll be using the hip cuff. You can use your free hand if you don't have this tool. Like that. So we are done with the waistline for now and the hip line. Then we move on to the crotch line. So to get the crotch measurement, what you will do now is to divide your hip line by 4. Whatever you have on your hip, you divide it by 4. So I have 10.5 inches here. You will divide that by 4. So on the crotch line, I'll just move on like this. You divide hip by 4, and whatever you have there, my own is 10.5. Dividing it by 4, I have 2.6. So whatever you have there, that is what you will measure from this point Then I will just measure that 2.6. Then you extend that line. Just like that. And once you've done that, you go to the hip line again, and then you mark just half an inch from the hip line, like this. And then you connect these 3 points together. So I'll be using my French cuff. I think that would be the best to use. That is that. And with this, you're not going to have any unnecessary bulging or folding or triangle at the back of your trouser or at the front. So now that we are through with the crotch measurements, crotch line measurements, we are going to move on to the other horizontal measurements. So to get this kind of shape, you can see the shape. So to get it perfectly, what you will do now is to come to the crotch line and divide the crotch line into 2. So you find the middle point of your crotch line. Here I have 13 inches and the middle point will be 6.5, like this. Then that's 6.5. So 6.5, just like that. So the next thing is now to work on the hip, on the thigh measurements. So whatever you have there, you divide it by 2. Remember that we measure just one thigh this time around. So all these measurements now, you will divide whatever you have there by 2. So 23 divided by 2, that will be 11.5 inches. Then I will come here and place that 11.5. Yeah. Then again, the nail measurement, you divide it by 2. I have 8, and on this line I will have 4 inches at both sides to get that 8. So this is like that. And then you do the same thing for the cuff or the ankle. I have 14 inches. Divide 14 inches by 2. That gave me 7 inches. So if need be, you extend this horizontal line at the cuff, just like that. And then 7 inches, that will be 3.5 inches at both sides. So like this and like that. So we are almost done, and the next thing now is to connect all these points together. Make sure you blend this part, you blend it very well. You can see it. So you need to blend that, don't just leave it like that. So you blend it with the cuff line, the cuff roller. This is the front pattern for the trouser. So now we want to draft the back pattern. If you are new to my channel, kindly subscribe, like and share this video. Thank you. So, and I just realized that my camera stopped, but what I've done here is just that I added 1 inch to the new line, but you will need to add it to the back. So you are adding 2 inches to the back at the nail line and at the cuff, the ankle. So you just add 1 inch at both sides, and that is what I've done there. So I will just explain the upper part, which is very important. So at the crotch line here, you will need to add 2 inches to the front on the back pattern. and that is what I've done here. So this is 2 inches, you can see it there. And then we move on to the waistline. So if you can see at the waistline in this picture, you can see that the back is longer than the front. The front is shorter and the back is longer. So I will show you how to do that. So what you will do now here is you move on to the waistline, and at the waistline you find the, here you remember we added, when we divided the hip line into 4, so we have 2.6 inches. So your hip line, you divide it by 4, you have 2.6 inches, and that 2.6 inches is what we measured here, from here to this point. So what you have here at this point to this point, that is what you will measure at this point, and your waistline, you measure it up. And you remember that you are measuring that on the middle point on the, so that is there, from there. And then we can now use our French cuff. You need to connect it. So ignore this one. So then I'll place it back. You can see that the two, they are not the same. So now we want to place our waist measurement for the back pattern. So the waist measurement is 9 inches. 9 inches. So whatever you have there, you will measure it from here to the waistline. So if need be, you need to extend the waistline as well, like that. Then you measure it down at this point, just like that, and then you connect it down. You remember you need to add 1 inch to the hip, to the crotch line at this side, to the thigh, and to the nail and to the cuff line. So you add 1 inch to all this horizontal line except the waistline. So you need to extend the waistline. You measure your waistline from this point down like this, and then you connect those points together. Like that. And then using this cuff, and then to the nail line, just like that. So that is how to draft the back and